Hello, it's Tom Donald from the London Contemporary School of Piano. Today I'm going to show you how to play double octaves on the piano with the correct techniques, and we're also going to have a lot of fun with double octaves. We're going to improvise on them, we're going to maybe compose a bit with them. Double octaves, what are they? They're an opportunity for you to shred on the piano. I think this is like a little trick, a party trick that a lot of pianists sort of miss out on. Yeah, so let's talk about it. And if you're a fan of our work at the London Contemporary School of Piano, you should head on over to our website, contemporaryschoolofpiano.com, and request our free resources kit, which accompany many of these YouTube videos. And also you should ask us about our Complete Musician program, which is a accumulation of all of my training, development and research in piano education. It is a structured resource and course that will do so many things for your piano playing. But today we are talking about double octaves. What are double octaves? I guess this is the piano version of shredding, right? And it's where we get a note, pick any note, A, you turn it into an octave. So imagine you play a scale or a sequence of notes just in an octave, like an A major scale. It's got a little bit more weight to it because we're doubling up the note. But why don't we quadruple the note by doing the same thing in the left hand? And then we get this. Right, and this is, so in classical music, particularly the Romantic period, double octaves were king on the piano. All the pianists wanted to shred out the double octaves, and you can get over a whole orchestra when you're doing things like this. And yeah, that's the beauty of it. You can get over an orchestra. The whole brass section, the piano can just kick over it with double octaves. So when we think of Grieg's piano concerto or the great concertos by Tchaikovsky, Rachmaninoff, even Beethoven, the double octaves, they can really cut through. And so that was the era of the double octaves, or Franz Liszt. He uses double octaves everywhere in his composing. And he could play the fastest, meanest double octaves in the land. And yeah, it was the era of piano virtuosity. And double octaves were a real reflection of that. I think for today, double octaves have many great uses, even if you're not a person of 19th century piano interests. You might be more interested in blues. We see a lot of double octaves in, even if it's just a running bass line. The ability to be able to locate an octave and quickly play it on the piano is equally important for that style of music. Also, the other benefit of double octaves on the piano is it helps your musical or your piano geography, for you to be able to feel that interval out and know it's an octave. It's really important because you'll be playing so much other music with shapes that involve octaves. So it gives you an anchor point. So there's a lot of benefits to playing double octaves on the piano or practicing them that go beyond just being able to play virtuosic 19th century piano music. But we're going to have a lot of fun with it because you can do some really cool things with it. So the first exercise we're going to do is we're going to play some double octaves very slowly, because many of you would never have done this before. So we're going to start slowly. And this involves an element of physical strength as well. So it's a very physical thing, playing the double octave. So we're going to start with just some chromatic notes. We'll just basically start here on a B up here. We're just going to move down the piano. We're not going to go too fast. We're just going to take our time here. So one thing I want you to avoid is making unnecessary movements, because if we're going to go faster later on, you need to sort of restrict too many unnecessary movements. So we don't want to be doing things like this. Just to move between the white and the black keys, we want to minimize that movement, almost like to be able to slide from the notes. So I'm not moving to the bottom of the white key. I'm just near where that black key is. It's really good to practice this with your eyes closed, because so you can feel the keyboard. You're just doing this nice and slowly. Really relax your wrist. Make sure you're not sitting too close, you're not cramped. Your body's got space to breathe. You really want to feel your arms and your shoulders here. You want to feel them loose. You might even want to warm up your shoulders a little bit and just sort of just feel really loose. Let's go a little bit faster now. All right, we're going to go a little faster and a little louder. Your neighbors complaining, right? If your neighbors are complaining, I know you're doing a good job. So thumbs up to all of you with complaining neighbors, right? We want to make some sound here. Being tongue-in-cheek here, obviously. We won't have complaining neighbors. Our neighbors are going to love us for all the beautiful free music that you're supplying them. So just, yeah. And if you're practicing with the headphones on, rip off the headphones. I want you to hear the sound around you. And we need to make a tutorial one day about playing with headphones. It's got some problems. It's really important that you hear the sound around you. And when you get to that bass, I want you to embrace the bass. I want you to, so let's try it like this now. We're going to do these double octaves going down in chromatics, and I'm going to add a crescendo to it. I'm going to get louder and louder and louder. And as I get further in the bass, I'm going to really let this grand piano just, give me this beautiful bass. You know, there are people out there that spend lots of money on buying really, really good speakers, audiophiles, they're called. And, they buy really good speakers and amplifiers and cables. And they spend a lot of money just buying cables to plug into the speakers and the amplifier. And I think it's really important to listen to music on good equipment. But, the big but, the piano is the greatest kit of hi-fi that's ever been invented. The frequency response, the musicality, the accuracy, just even having an upright piano in a room with the bass that you can draw out of the instrument is really amazing. And you want to squeeze all this frequency out of the piano and bring out as much of it as you can. It will beat even the most expensive speakers. It will be the best sound you could ever imagine. So we're going to start here on G. We're going to add this crescendo, and I'm going to do something further more challenging. And I might fail at this because this is hard. It sounds simple, but it's hard. As I get louder, I'm also going to get slower. It's so much easier to get faster when you get louder. Well, I'm going to try and do the reverse of that, just to test me out here. All right. As I was trying to get louder there, I couldn't just rely on my hands. My hands weren't enough to achieve that. As I was getting louder, I had to use more of my body. Because at first I don't want to hurt my hands. And so the more of your body you use to support your piano playing, the better the sound you get out of it, you draw out of the piano. So my shoulders were engaged there. My shoulders, and by the time I got to that last chord, I jumped up out of the stool because I was using my whole body to play there. And that's really, this double octaves are so good for just waking up the body. You don't just play the piano with your fingers, you're not just with the fingers. You're using your whole body to play. Your whole body is in dance with the music. And double octaves really help open that physicality up in our playing. I'll tell you a story about myself. The first time I learnt to play double octaves on the piano, I was a typical grumpy hormonal teenager. Perfect. Best thing ever. Because then when I started discovering double octaves, I saw them in pieces by Liszt and Rachmaninoff. I was like, I could get my frustrations and emotions out. And that was a really good training for me in a sense to help me, firstly for the emotional release of music is very, very important. But secondly, it really helped me understand that my body is involved in playing the piano. It is a physical action. It's not just an intellectual or a mental action, it's a physical action, and so double octaves can really help stimulate that. You don't have to be a hormonal grumpy teenager, by the way, to discover that. It's just quite useful if you are. So what we're going to do now is we're going to just learn how to engage the shoulders a bit more. So a good exercise to do that is to double up the note. So I'm going to get, let's get a low B here. So I'm going to play the B twice, but I'm going to play it in a quick succession like this. Now that second B, my whole body sort of gets behind it. Let me just move up the piano. Now I'm going to try and go a bit faster. Now, if I want to go faster, I can't just be impulsing with my body the whole time because it'll just be too much energy. So now I have to pace myself a little bit as I do it, but I still want to feel the lightness now in my body. My body needs to feel light. And so you just want to feel light on this chair, on the stool. You want to feel you're not too close to the piano. We're just going to rise up the keyboard now. You can have a lot of fun with that. And yeah, I'm a bit out of practice with my double octaves, so I'll be straight with you on that, because I don't play that much music with fast double octaves, not as much as I used to. But this is really helpful because it gets me in touch again with aspects of piano playing, the physical aspects of piano playing. So it is really, really useful to revisit it. So now we're going to get on to some fingering techniques with double octaves. What was really important about what I just did was feeling that impulse in your shoulders. It's hard to explain in words, but it's being aware of what the rest of your body is doing. So you ask yourself, what's my body doing right now? How do my shoulders feel? Where was the release coming from when I was creating that sound on the piano? Really important questions to ask yourself. So, if you want to have some one-to-one, top-notch technical coaching, there are members of our team at the London Contemporary School of Piano who are phenomenal piano technicians and can coach you with the physical aspects. We have certain teachers in our team that are trained in techniques like Alexander techniques, the understanding how your body works with the piano. So. And we offer coaching worldwide in these areas. It doesn't matter where in the world you live. We can create some great one-to-one programs to help you wake up those physical aspects of playing. Because there's only so far I can go on a YouTube video, but I've got more. I've got way more I need to show you. So I'm going to now play some chromatic double octaves now, but we're going to alternate the fingering. We might just start with the right hand. We're going to alternate the fingering between, and some of you with smaller hands might not be able to do this, and that's okay. But we're going to alternate the fingering between 1 and 5 and 1 and 4. So by me occasionally moving to 5 and 4 on that top note, now, if you're completely new to double octaves, like today's the first time you've ever tried it, you're going to find that really hard. But, and you might just need to spend time just getting your hand used to that. But the benefit of alternating between 5 and 4 is it just gives your sound a bit more clarity, and it can help you play legato double octaves as well. So that top note is smoother, it's more legato as a result of me alternating those two fingers. And it can just help speed, and by using the same fingering on every single octave, the sound can become a little more monotonous. You can't shape the sound potentially as well as when you're alternating the fingers. But a good way to practice it, ironically, a good way to practice anything to prepare good legato smooth playing is actually by practicing it short and staccato, because it just brings a little bit of lightness to your hand first. You're not tensing up. So we're actually going to practice it legato. Like this. I'll go a bit slower. Go up. that's quite a useful way to alternate things. Now, having it staccato just encourages that lightness. Some of you might be tensing up too much. If you are tensing up too much and you need that lightness, this little light staccato techniques are really useful. Now let's have some fun. Let's improvise now with double octaves and imitate some 19th century virtuosity, even if it's in a simple way. So it's good to then break up chords, not just scales. You can practice your major and your minor scales in double octaves. It sounds great, you know. You do a descending minor scale, sound a bit like Grieg, won't it? You know, so there's some really cool stuff you can do. But we're going to get diminished chords. We're going to get super melodramatic and get diminished 7 chords. So here's a C diminished 7. Everything's a minor third apart. And we're going to descend on a broken C diminished 7 chord in double octaves. And we're going to put the pedal down the whole time because it will harmonize. So the pedal is like really cool technique to use here. I'll do that again. Now I'm sort of throwing my body at it. Sometimes it's not entirely accurate. And then I might need to slow down. You can practice it really slowly. Right, and these are things that, you know, Franz Liszt does that sort of stuff all the time. Sometimes I think he does it when he doesn't know what to do next. He goes, oh, I'm playing a nice melody here, you know. Oh, I don't know what to do next. Now I'll change key. Oh, I've got another idea now, and he goes to the next section. So these diminished, like moments of double octave diminished, so they tie sections together in the music. And you can do this on other diminished chords. Which brings me to another double octave technique. When you play double octaves, but you put a delay between your left and right hand. They're not going at the same time like this. They're going like this. Let's do it on the D diminished. E flat diminished. E diminished. Right, you can create all these fun little drills out of that. But that delayed double octave, you can go back to doing it chromatically. Sounds really impressive, right? It sounds like, you know, people hear that and they go, oh, it's a serious pianist. But it's a bit of a party trick, to be fair. It's quite learnable. It's a bit physical, but if you practice that slowly and you don't be scared to be a bit loud and proud, you can start playing these techniques and improvising with them. And back in the day, in the Romantic period, they always did. They were always improvising on stuff like this. It was really impressive to an audience. So I might do a little cheeky 19th century improvisation now. I'll make a sort of esoteric sort of improvisational piece with lots of double octaves in it. Let's see how I get on. And if you'd like to learn more about our work at the London Contemporary School of Piano, because we get up to a lot of mischief in our lessons, you might want to inquire about our complete musician program. You know, there is no territory that I don't touch in that course when it comes to trying different things with music, whether it's getting Chopin and turning it into a blues, getting a blues and turning it into Chopin, getting chords and seeing how they have a universal connection with all the music we listen to. It doesn't matter what your level is or your ability. I want you, wherever you are sitting at your piano around the world, I want you to engage with music on your terms. I want you to have a ball with it. I want you to find the piano. I want to break down the piano. I don't want this instrument in front of you that you're scared of, or that has this stigma of being, you know, always so difficult. It is a difficult instrument. Let's make no question of that. But it's an instrument that with so much joy and pleasure you can get from it that will enhance your life. So if that's the sort of thing you want to do more of, you should ask about our complete musician program. It'd be my delight to take you on the next level of your musical journey. And now I'm going to create this improvisation with double octaves. I feel totally unprepared, so maybe that's for the better. Let's see how we go. See you on the next video.